But before that, a quick introduction of the guests that we have. I'm joined by Mark Bichachi and Bernard Wakoli this morning. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us bright and early to see what is happening in our country. Let's start off with the Standard, where we have bosses of 5 banks in trouble over NYS millions. Now, in an unprecedented move, DCI boss George Kinoti wants Nudin Haji to charge chief executive officers of some Kenya's top banks over billions lost in youth service scandal. This is, of course, after they handled the millions and billions, and there seems to have been irregular withdrawals, which they did not flag or report. Mark, the war on corruption seems to be spreading the net, and of course banks would not be left out, because this is possibly a point of call. Once money has been taken from somewhere, it would definitely pass through banks.
Well, let me tell you, the truth is 1 million shillings is 1 kilogram, okay? For someone to go into a bank and withdraw 300 million, that's someone who took away 300 kilograms worth of money out of a bank. Now, for that to happen, someone very senior has to allow that kind of movement to happen. I'll give you an example. How do you go to a place in Kapenguria, to a bank, I will not say which one, and then you withdraw 300 million? If we withdraw 300 million from Kapenguria, who will ever withdraw from that bank from a month? Unless someone planned specifically for that money to be available, because then the operations of that bank would not happen. So you can see clearly that there was collusion between those who are corrupt and people in the bank to move certain large amounts of money. Now, if you're the CEO of a bank, I am very, very sure that if anyone is able to withdraw 300 million shillings at a time, they should be your best friend. It only makes sense that your high net worth clients are known to you. So if someone who's able to withdraw 300 million was known to you, and you did not raise the questions that you are required to ask by law when such amounts of money are being withdrawn, then clearly you're either incompetent or you're culpable. But the truth is, this being the Kenyan Republic, is they are culpable. We've seen many banks over the last few weeks confess that indeed they did make a mistake and they chose to pay a fine instead of facing, what do you call them, the justice system. So the truth is, these bankers, much like lawyers, have been in bed with corruption for a very long time. Because for corruption to happen, you need 2 people. You need a banker who will allow you to carry 300 kilograms out of a bank, and you need a lawyer who will say that under client privilege, because they're a professor, you can hide your money using their firm, and they will never reveal it even under the court orders.
All right, Bernard Wakoli, looks like the DCI and the DPP are working together efficiently to try and at least see whether Kenyans can see some progress when it comes to the fight against corruption.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mike. I think I'll pick from where Mark has left, but I'm not quite sure about the measurements of kgs. But
you've not carried
it. Is a fact, I'll tell you.
It's very important that we note of the fact that currently there's consistent in terms of consistency in terms of war against corruption. And for the bankers, I feel there was complicity on their part, because as Mark has indicated, you can't go and withdraw such amount of money without colluding with the bank officials. Again, we have had cases where people actually withdrew money at odd hours at night. They just make phone calls to the bank manager, to the branch manager, go with the sacks and carry such huge amount of money. So I feel the whip that is being cracked by the DPP and DCI is very important, and it will act as a deterrent for further acts to where money is being laundered through the banks.
All right. Mark, would you be surprised if after all this is said and done, one, we do not have, because it's important that if they prove that this money is illegally acquired, it must be brought back to the coffers.
Yeah, well, true, but the surprise would be how long it takes in this country to get the money back. Well, the DCI and DPP and the Asset Recovery Unit recently announced that they got 3 billion back. Well, 3 billion is a drop in the ocean of the trillions of shillings that Kenya has lost. But the truth is that our laws in terms of the returning of money is quite funny. I'll give you an example. The guy who was recently convicted, the church elder was convicted and fined 4 million shillings, was then not asked to restore the money that he was convicted for stealing, which is a power that judges have, I'm told, that they rarely use, because the criminal justice system in Kenya does not consider restitution as part of its system. So number one, we need to start considering restitution, that these people who have been convicted, since you've been proven as a matter of fact to be guilty and not innocent, then it must follow reasonably that you should be able to refund that money. And if you're not able to refund that money, I would suggest we go the American route, because in America, there are laws called civil forfeiture rules. Essentially, if you're caught with $10,000 and you cannot explain where it came from, then the policeman who caught you will take it to the police unit, no court case, and it becomes state property. And that's what we need to get to in Kenya, because all these people with money they can't explain, they just thank God for every Sunday. You know, it's God that came through for me. They really need to stop that, because the only way we can begin to see sizable steps is if Mark Bichachi is asked, where did you get this house? Where did you get this car? And if I cannot answer that question, then take it back. At least it's not a loss, because the truth is it belongs to the wider Kenyan public. And then we can do that